Jay Prince, the man, and professionally, let me just say this. Every time I talk to anybody from Houston, from the 713, old, young, in between, they speak so highly of you, brother, and what you've done in that community
Yeah.
that before we started anything with the book, anything, I just wanted to talk about what you've done in not just Fifth Ward, but for the city of Houston, specifically the black community, bro. What you've done, I know that's got to make you feel proud because you claim Houston, Houston champions you. That's your motherfucking city, bro. And to
Yeah.
hear, and I'm gonna say it again, old, young, anybody I talk to, the respect and the high praise that they have for you is really, really is unbelievable, man. And I know as much as in your heart, as much as you champion, as much as you people can call it philanthropy or whatever, but whatever you really love Houston, brother.
Oh yeah.
And you do a lot in that community, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're right. I mean, it's unending love between me and Houston.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I'm from Fifth Ward. That's one of the hoods that's in Houston, one of the ghettos that's in Houston, and I know it's ghettos all around the world, so it's Fifth Wards all around the world. But Houston has been good to me as a whole, even though the alphabet boys that's in Houston tried to destroy me.
Boy, hey.
You know, God has protected me in Houston.
Hey. And they did try.
Yeah.
And it was funny because off camera I was talking to somebody from knowing that, you know, like you say, the alphabet boys are trying to destroy your legacy and bring you down, and for you to still persevere and still make it unscathed. Because a lot of us can't say, I mean, I did a little Fed bid. I'm not even unscathed. They came at you on some, you know, whatever it may be, BS, and you're still giving back to that community, still rolling. I just want to, just from man to man, from brother to brother, man, I want to say thank you, man,
Hey, my
for everything
pleasure,
you
bro.
do in the community out there in Houston.
Yeah.
And I respect any gentleman that does that, any black man that does that in their town, their hometown.
Yeah.
It's much love, bro.
You know, my philosophy is this. You know, I couldn't be who I am if it wasn't for Fifth Ward, you know, the community in Houston. And, you know, I think a lot of ball players, basketball, football, all these guys that make it from a place out of a hood and disown the very place that helped shape and mold, you know, their character and who they had became today is like a slap in the face.
It sure
you know
is.
what I mean? So, you know, when the alphabet boys, for example, one of the main things they wanted me to do is disown where I'm from and not affiliate in the hood. In other words, don't go back. Disown that and we good with you. And my answer and statement to them is I'd rather be dead. Yes, I feel that strongly.
Why do you think
about
that
it.
is, though? Why do you think, you know, people do disassociate themselves with their hood when, in fact, you should represent where you came from?
Yeah, well, you should. I think a lot of them do it out of fear. You know what I mean? They extended the invitation to me to be that way, and, you know, I just couldn't. So you have a combination of fear. You have a combination of, you know, not caring or not loving where you came from. And your first idea when you make it is, I got to get away from here.
Right,
You know
right,
what I
right.
mean? I don't want to help nobody get out of here. I don't want to contribute. I just want to be free. So it become a I situation.
And we want to thank you for not taking on that approach, bro.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to jump into a quick story, Jay, man. You know we on Story Time with Legendary Jerry, so you know I have plenty of stories. I'll tell you the time that I really saw the reach of on the respect level that you have. I was working for, I'm gonna see if your memory, if you jog your memory. I was working for Relativity Ruthless back in the 90s. And Bone Thugs was beefing with rap-a-lot artist Do or Die.
Yeah.
So the beef was squashed. We had an incident out in L.A. where the beef was squashed, but then one of the members of Bone and their security got the beef back going on some silly shit. I'm sure they admit it to this day. Me working for the label, I set up a show. After the beef had got reignited with Bone Thugs. So the promoter had hit me and I worked out all the details. So when they told us who was on the show, it was like Bone Thugs with it was damn near the whole Rap-A-Lot roster. It was Do or Die. It was Scarface. So, of course, Bone pulls out. You know who got fucking sued because of that?
Who that?
Me.
Is that right?
I'll-
Oh man.
because
Yikes.
they said that Jay Prince put in a courtesy call and said that just be careful, because you just never in your words, you just
Yeah.
never know what may happen.
Yeah, I kind of remember that situation. I think a lot of people was mad at Bone them about reuniting that thing in L.A.
Because it had been squashed.
Yeah.
Is that how y'all met? Was that the first?
No, actually, perfect leading into another story. I worked in the late 90s. I worked for EMI Music on the distribution end, and one of the labels up under us was Virgin, and Rap-A-Lot Records was distributed through Virgin. And I remember we had, I don't know if it was a label corporate retreat or whatever, but it was all the labels and a lot of the bigger artists on there. And I had always heard about Lil J Prince, I always heard, but as far as meeting him, especially after the incident with being sued because Bone pulled out with me working for the label. But when I finally met him, and I'm not just saying this because he's here, but, he can strike a lot of fear. And when I met him, just like he is now, he had great energy. He had a great spirit. And I was just kind of like, damn, this is the dude that, this is the guy they talking about. And I met him. And I think the guy, was it Mike Mack? I think it was that?
Mike Mack. Yeah.
He was like vice president of Urban, I believe.
Right.
So when I met you, I was like, wow, like this dude, the conversation, it might have been short, but it was, like I say, I'm big into energy and people's spirit, and your energy and spirit was that of, on some cool shit. And, it's like this. And all of us in this room could say, if you just live life with a lot of respect, like your book, and don't cross people, it can be great.
That's
it can
right.
be great.
That's right.
So, but that's just another story that how when I first met him was when I worked at EMI, and Virgin was one of the labels and Rap-A-Lot was on there.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He be spitting them out. So all the stories. I said, you have all the stories.
Yeah, no, that's a true story.
This book right here, I told you off camera, is long overdue, bro. Congratulations, first of all, on this book.
Appreciate it, bro.
The Art and Science of Respect. How long ago did you start writing this, and to finally see this come to fruition like this? What does this mean to you?
Well, I started writing on it in 2014, and
Okay.
It means the world to me because this is my biography. This is my life. This is my wins, my losses, everything in between. I shared a lot of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in this book. Blueprints, inspiration, my faith, everything to help my fellow men and women, whoever read this book. I want them to leave inspired and leave with something more than what they came with, because if I had a piece of literature like this when I first started,
You would have avoided a lot of the pitfalls and bumps in the road.
and made 100 more million. Yeah, so it's that type of situation, and it's that type of wisdom that's in this book that one gonna receive when they read it.
For anybody that, let's just say that there's someone that wants to get into the music industry or the entertainment industry, because you're more than just music, and we're going to get on that in a minute. What do you want them to take from this? Like you just mentioned a blueprint a minute ago. Let's just say that I have no idea about the entertainment industry or music per se. What is it when I read this? Is there a certain chapter or some things that you specifically say as far as mapping out certain ways and certain things that you need to do to be successful?
Oh yeah. It's hard to know if one gonna be successful, but what this book is gonna give you is a foundation and a roadmap on how to protect yourself and get there. You know what I mean? Whether you have the gift to be successful remains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The public and different people have to embrace you. But if you can get there, this is going to teach you how to keep that
Man,
that
I'm
you
so
get.
fucking excited about
Yeah.
this, man.
I mean, obviously, the bottom line is the whole respect aspect of it, which is in the title, and even Drake mentions in the forward about, you know, coming to Houston. It was like a movie, and
Yeah.
everyone respected you, and that's like one thing that stands out. Like even Jerry said before. So, I mean, that, like, how do you even begin to kind of teach someone that, you know, like is that all in this book as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. And for those that's listening, you know, respect, you know, begins with giving it.
You
You
damn
know what I
right.
mean? You have to give it, you know what I mean, and then you can demand it, you know, in return, or, you know, get away from a place that won't, you know, reciprocate that same respect you're giving. And it also ties into humility, you know what I mean, being a humble person and different things like that, you know, go along with respect as well.
Do you think that's a hard thing to do in the industry, is be humble?
Well, it depends,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? It
yeah.
depends because it's a time and a place for everything, you know what I mean? And sometimes one won't embrace humility or they'll take it for weakness. And you have to have different gears,
Yeah, you
you
damn
know what I
right.
mean, that you can shift out of
Right,
to
right.
accommodate.
On Instagram, all my stuff is Big Jerry Clark. Jamie, give yours.
Miss Jamie Page.
And before we sign off, I dedicate every episode of the show to two people. My dad, Mr. Thomas Clark, who passed back in 2016. I love you. I miss you, Pops. And Mr. Shakir Stewart. He meant a lot to my career. A lot to me, both personally and professionally. Those two individuals. Big shout out to Amir Boyd and Julia Beverly. Mr. J. Prince here.
Thank you so
Miss
much.
Jamie Page. Big Jerry Clark.
We
Tune
are.
in next Wednesday. And we are signing off.